Hello everyone and welcome back to Fantastic Five. This week, we're counting down the 5 best heel turns in superhero comics history. To those unfamiliar with the term, this might sound like we're ranking dance moves, but like its opposite number, the face turn, heel turn is a term from wrestling in which a character who has been established as a good guy either turns bad or is revealed to have been secretly bad all along. Perhaps needless to say, this list is just rampant with spoilers. But all stories are at least 7 years old, so catch up. Just missing the top 5 this week are Alex Wilder and his heartbreaking betrayal of the Runaways, the Plutonian whose fall from grace is the subject of Irredeemable, Kid Miracle Man whose corruption is bloody and terrifying, Ozymandias, who, if you think about it, actually kind of saved the world with his turn, and Omni-Man, Invincible's dad, who, also made our list of best face turns. Now on to the top 5. Number 5, Hawk. This one makes the list more for being interesting than for being good per se. 1991 saw the release of the crossover event Armageddon 2001, which featured a dystopian future ruled over by a tyrannical figure named Monarch, who massacred all the world's heroes in the near future. All clues pointed toward Justice Leaguer Captain Atom being the culprit who would go insane and kill all the heroes, and in fact, this ending was leaked to fans. In response to the leak, at the last minute, DC changed the ending of the story so that Monarch was revealed to actually be Hawk of the duo Hawk and Dove. Fans hated this revelation, and it kind of ruined Hawk and Dove for a while. This turn was eventually retconned about 15 years later in an Infinite Crisis tie-in. Number 4, Hal Jordan. This was the turn so devastating that a bunch of nerds got together and threatened to kill the poor writer of Green Lantern. Following the death of Superman, a number of pretenders to his name popped up to claim they were the real Steel deal. One of these, the Cyborg Superman, turned out to be a big-time villain who wanted to turn the Earth into a giant mobile war world. Part of this plan involved destroying Hal Jordan's hometown, Coast City, and turning it into a giant engine. Ultimately, this caused Jordan to go insane with grief and kill the rest of the Green Lantern Corps, being replaced for the rest of the 90s by a new guy, and then being a ghost for a while before being made both alive and good again in a story which involved the revelation that Hal was actually possessed by a giant yellow space bug that was powerful enough to deceive the Judeo-Christian God. Oh, I'm kinda out of breath. That was one crazy sentence. Number 3, Terra. Tara Markov was the illegitimate daughter of the King of Markovia, who gained the ability to manipulate dirt and rock with her mind. She then comes to America, where she joins the Teen Titans, helping them battle their biggest foe, Deathstroke the Terminator. Psych, it turns out that Tara was actually a spy for Deathstroke and was having a super gross illegal relationship with him. She betrayed the Teen Titans to the Terminator, who kidnapped the team, until Tara goes super berserk and turns on Deathstroke too. To this day, this story, The Judas Contract, remains the most definitive Teen Titans story of all time. Number 2, Dark Phoenix. Wow, it really seems like this one should have been number 1, huh? You know the story though, right? Founding X-Men member Jean Grey seemingly dies only to return as the Phoenix, growing increasingly powerful until she is corrupted by absolute power and ends up murdering billions of aliens. She is put on trial and gives up her own life, but when Marvel wanted to bring her back, they had to reveal that the Phoenix was a whole other entity because of the stain of having murdered billions being pretty hard to overcome. Boy, what could be worse than genocide on this scale? And number 1, Jean Loring. This one makes number 1 not for being good, but for being the most devastatingly effective. With this one seemingly insignificant in the grand scheme of things turn, DC Comics successfully turned all of the members of the Justice League into jerks at best and outright villains at worst. In the most damaging crossover event of all time, Identity Crisis, the Atom's ex-wife, Jean Loring, is revealed to have shrunk down to a tiny size and murdered Elongated Man's wife by stepping on her brain and then burning her with a flamethrower, because, no kidding, she misses her husband. This dominoes into a whole thing where we find out that the Justice League is cool with manipulating people's memories, including their own members, including Batman, and that's terrible. That's all for this week. Join us again next week when we count down 5 more things that hopefully don't involve me having to think about Identity Crisis. Thanks for watching this episode of Fantastic Five. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Comics Alliance for more comic facts, and check out comicsalliance.com for more comic awesomeness.